Haguka, the patriotic song South Koreans say when they hear it, it reminds them of the love they and they that came before them have for their country. And Son Heung-min, the South Korea captain there, Clinton Morrison, singing his heart out at the end of the row of South Koreans there as they line up ahead of kickoff here, and just shaking the hands of the Uruguay as they make their way down the line as we prepare for kickoff. Such an important player, the talisman for the South Korean team. He said in the build-up to this World Cup, after he suffered that facial fracture 23 days ago, remember, just 23 days ago, that even if there was a 1% chance of playing, he wanted to. He had to play, surely.
Yeah, he was always going to play. He is their talisman. I think he would have played even with the injury. He's such an important player, and he's done ever so well to get. As you hear people talking about Son, he's like a god in their country. He's unbelievable. He is their talisman. He is their main man. And if he has a good game, South Korea have a chance of getting something out of the game, but it will be difficult because Uruguay are a top team.
Yeah, we talk about that blend of youth of experience a lot in the build-up to this. Diego Godin does start at the back for Uruguay, does captain his 4th World Cup. Caceres' 4th World Cup in defence as well. Luis Suarez's 4th World Cup. They've got so much experience and a really physical team as well, Uruguay.
Yeah, they got experience and they got youth. So the names you've mentioned, obviously, the ones that stand out, Godin and Luis Suarez. Suarez keeps on going, keeps scoring goals. And then you got Nunez, who will probably play alongside Suarez, who's starting to score goals for Liverpool, who will be a good signing. And then Bentancur and Valverde. I think Valverde's the main player for them. Bentancur, brilliant at Tottenham, but I'd say Valverde plays at Real Madrid. He's the talisman for them. He's the main man. So they have a really good team, Uruguay.
Yeah, Valverde has had a brilliant season for Real Madrid. Missed the 2018 World Cup, of course. Now he's one of Real Madrid's most important players, starting the Champions League final in May, and he's turning out to be one of Uruguay's most important players as well. We'll run you through the lineups then, starting with Uruguay. Roca is in goal. Then we've got a back four, Caceres, Jimenez, Godin, the captain, and Oliveira. Vecino in the centre of midfield with Bentancur of Tottenham and Valverde of Real Madrid as well on the right. And then the front three, Nunez of Liverpool, Suarez, the former Liverpool man, of course, alongside Pellistri, who still is yet to make a senior debut for Manchester United. That is the Uruguay starting 11. They will be playing in their home regular kit that we're used to seeing of the light blue, and the camera's just trained on their record goal scorer Luis Suarez. 68 goals he has in international appearances. This his 4th World Cup. The South Korea players playing in an all-red kit with the black numbers on the back, just in a pre-match huddle in their half as they prepare to kick off this, the first game of Group H, the final group to kick off in this 2022 FIFA World Cup. So the South Korea 11 is as follows: Kim Seong-hyun in goal, Kim Moon-hwan, Kim Min-jae, Kim Young-gwon and Kim Ji-sun make up the back four. Jun has a very important role to play in holding midfield, with Lee Kai-song and Hwang just ahead of him. The front three of Na, Hwang Lee-jo and then Son Heung-min, the captain, the Tottenham forward, captains from the left. As we prepare to kick off here, South Korea will kick us off. They just have the ball in the centre circle at the moment. Hwang In-jo preparing to kick us off, and he does so. South Korea playing from left to right as we watch here, as we say, in their all-red kit. Slight black trim on their shorts, black numbers on the back as well. They are attacking from left to right. They're in possession at the moment in the Uruguay half. Uruguay playing from right to left as we watch in the home kit we are very used to seeing, as Bentancur almost loses out the ball there, and it goes for a throw-in just on the near side.
One thing you'll see with South Korea is they will work hard. Even Uruguay will try and get the ball down and play to the likes of Bentancur, Valverde to try and dictate play, but South Korea will press in their numbers. You saw it yesterday with Japan, the way they pressed Germany, and when the timing's right, they'll get back into their shape. So I'm expecting goals, man. Don't worry about it. We'll get goals. We ain't going to get a boring 0-0 here.
Well, Oliveira took the throw-in for Uruguay just on this near outside touchline, a couple of yards inside Uruguay's own half, but they have lost out on the ball, and South Korea looking pretty bright in the early stages here.
Yeah, they are. It's a good ball over the top, and Gimenez has to come across and obviously defend that, to be fair, and they've got a corner. So yeah, and this is where they could be a threat. I feel when you're the lower ranked teams and you get these opportunities, you have to deliver and put good balls into the box. You know, test the Uruguay defence.
So the first corner of this game is going to be a South Korean one. They're going to take it from the right as they attack from left to right as we're watching here. No guesses who is standing over the ball, who has the ball in his hands at the moment. Son Heung-min, very distinctive in this game. He's obviously wearing that protective black eye mask, although Lee Jae-sung also standing over this ball in the corner flag. It is Son Heung-min, though, who has his right arm raised. He does take the corner into the box. Header goes over the bar in the end and caught by the keeper.
Yeah, Rocket, the keeper, does ever so well there. It was a good ball from Son, and it was a good run to that near post, but it's well defended from Uruguay.
And long ball over the top from Roca there, targeting those Uruguay forwards, as Darwin Núñez there gives away perhaps a foul, a free kick, and we're going to see already the physical side of Uruguay's game already in the early stages here, Clinton.
Yeah, definitely. Uruguay are always physical. They have physical players. Núñez, Suarez will put themselves about, but that's what you expect. They're at a World Cup. Their manager will expect Diego Alonso to them to press from the front and be physical and not make it easy for South Korea.
So South Korea with a free kick that they take short in their own half. They are a side that like to play out from the back. South Korea, Paulo Bento, been in charge since just after the last World Cup in 2018, where South Korea, despite those heroics that Clinton mentioned before kick-off, beating Germany 2-0 in their final group game, failing to progress beyond the group. And Paulo Bento with an awful lot of time with this group of players now, trying to really get them to be a side that play pretty expansive football, and that physical mismatch between them and Uruguay is one we're really looking forward to seeing how that plays out today. South Korea with possession in Uruguay's half. They send it out to the left. Long ball forward. Cut out though by Uruguay, but Son Heung-min regains possession, and South Korea looking very comfortable and plenty of time in the ball in the early stages, Clinton.
Yeah, I thought Uruguay would dominate, but South Korea technically are really good on the ball.
Son Heung-min a couple of yards outside the Uruguay box, but they opt to switch it left to South Korea, and already we can see the influence that Son Heung-min is going to have on this game. All of South Korea's players going to be going through their Tottenham talisman, certainly, I think.
Yeah, I think most of the good things will go through Son. He's the main man. They're always looking for him, but they do have other technicians in there who can get on the ball and play the good passes and incisive passes, but I think for goal scoring it will be down to all Son.
And another set-piece opportunity this for South Korea. Vecino just fouling midway through the Uruguay half. But as they do quite often, South Korea, opting to switch the free kick, going backwards rather than forwards. But a lovely ball from Son Heung-min trying to feed in South Korea just on the left-hand side of the pitch, a couple of yards outside the box. But that goes backwards. So 0-0 in the early stages here on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. 0-0 between Uruguay and South Korea, the opening match of Group H at this 2022 FIFA World Cup, the last group to get underway in this Winter World Cup. Uruguay with a throw-in on the far side, midway through their half. A reminder, they're shooting from right to left as we watch them in the first half. Just over 4 minutes gone in this game, as South Korea regain possession and send it all the way back to their keeper. And already, Clinton, just 4 minutes in, we are seeing that Son Heung-min is going to be the real focus for the South Korea team. Really important then that, Paulo Bento taking a gamble that he is fit.
Yeah, I think even if he's half fit, Son has to play. Lee Jae-sung is another one who's playing in midfield. He can create stuff as well, but yeah, Son has to play. As I said, and we keep talking about him, but we talk about him because he's a special player, scoring goals in the Premier League for years for Tottenham, and he's a big player for his country, and they'll need him if they're going to get anything today.
And there was a lovely crossfield ball there, or it was an attempted a lovely crossfield ball there from South Korea to try and pick out their forward line. Darwin Núñez, though, winning a free kick for Uruguay as he was hustled there by Nar, who was trying to get on the end of that long ball crossfield, and a free kick for Uruguay just inside their own half. And we talked about the physical mismatch in these two teams, Clinton. You know, you look at this Uruguay side belting their hearts out during the national anthem. Somebody put on Twitter about the vibe they give out, hard as nails, the school bullies in the playground. You definitely want them as your big brother. They'd make sure nobody took your lunch money.
Yeah, definitely. They're a physical team, but they can also play football as well. They've got a good balance. So they do well, and they usually do well in tournaments. But with this team now, I think they can go further because I think it's a good squad mixed with youth and experience.
It is. South Korea, that was Kim Moon-hwan trying to go forward just from the right flanks. South Korea, though, losing possession, and Uruguay will attempt to build now from their half. but that ball that was attempted for Luis Suarez there, just overrun, and South Korea regained possession. Quiet start from Luis Suarez.
Yeah, they can't get a foothold of the game, Uruguay. He's getting frustrated. He just wanted the ball into his feet. Pelestri, Nunes, they want to get these kind of players into the game, but South Korea have started really well.
South Korea there doing really well to keep the ball in play, and Uruguay they're having to come across Jimenez to put that out for a corner on the right hand side. Really good distribution from South Korea in the early stages here.
Yeah, it was a good touch from Na on the right hand side. He does ever so well, and Godin had to come and clear up. It was good defending.
So there will be another free kick, or corner rather, for South Korea just from the right. So another good set piece opportunity. 0-0 still though in the early stages here. Nearly 7 minutes played at the Education City Stadium, and that man, their captain Son Heung-min, going to take this corner again. South Korea's second in the early stages. The referee though just having a bit of a word there. Godan, unsurprisingly, showing the physical side of the game against some of these South Korea players. Good matchup between him and Kim Mi-jae. As Clinton said, a brilliant start at Napoli since he joined in the European summer. He's really become a fan favourite in Serie A. He is enjoying that physical battle with Godin, certainly in the early stages here. Still 0-0 as Son puts in the corner. It's missed, comes out though to the edge of the box. South Korea give chase, and that comes off a Uruguay player there.
Yeah, it's good defending there from Darwin Nunes. He has to go back and help out his defence, because they've been under pressure. Some will probably be disappointed. You have to miss the first man with your corners, and because I feel it's a good opportunity to put the ball into the area where your defenders and midfielders can go and attack.
And South Korea, they hear the fans over on the far side. Certainly plenty of South Korea fans that we can see here on our monitor. Plenty of support in the Education City Stadium for South Korea as they take that throw in and try to build again now. Midway through Uruguay's half, opt to send it out now to the right. Crosses come into the box. Header went up. Uruguay clear though. And Luis Suarez picks up the ball, and a good 1-2 to set Darwin Nunes on his way. He's now midway through South Korea's half. Slightly overhits that though, and good clearance work there from South Korea. Good concentrated defending from South Korea in the early stages. Yeah,
Kim Moon-wan does ever so well. Nunes wants to knock it past him and wants to go for a race with him, but it's really good defending, and that's the first time probably Uruguay have been in South Korea's half.
Oliveira then with this throw-in for Uruguay. They're probably about 10 yards or so out, just on this near side touchline, so in a really good position here to get this throw-in, and then the subsequent cross perhaps into South Korea's box. He feeds it into the feet of Suarez there, who the touch really was a little bit heavy, and Uruguay missed out. And now it's South Korea again going on the counter down the right hand side. Hwang trying to get on the end of that. Good defensive clearance work though from the Uruguay captain Godan.
Yeah, Hwang Ujo tries to get him behind. It's a good ball. It's clipped down, but Godin reads it. It might not be the quickest, but one thing with Godin, he's been there, seen it, done it, and he's got good experience. He already reads that the ball's going in there, and it goes out for a throw-on. And Son's got problems with his captain's armband. His arms are not big enough, and the armband's too big for him.
It was slipping down a couple of times.
He needs to do more. He needs to do more gym work. I've been seeing a few things on social.
He needs some arm days.
Yeah, Micah Richards. He needs to go to the gym with Micah because he loves it.
He loves a good arm day. Yeah. South Korea taking this throw in and have given away, I think that was a foul, and that will be Uruguay with possession. But just going back to that good clearance work there from Godan, you know, we talked a lot in the build-up about the lack of game time that he's had, you know, 2 months out in the build-up to this World Cup with tendinitis. Again, it's a big call to start him when you've got a South Korea team who you know are going to be full of energy and running and pressing all the time, but early signs show that it was the right decision. Yeah, I think it's his experience, because you look at the bench. Sebastian Cortez, who used to be at Liverpool, is playing at Sporting, could have started the game, but I think they see Golden as he's the captain. He's one of their best players that have played for them many years, and I think his experience helps in, especially in the first game in the World Cup. So I think if he said to the manager he's fit, then the manager's going to put him in the starting 11. Vecino of Lazio's just put the ball out for a throw-in on this near side for South Korea midway through their own half, and they take it up to the halfway line. Goes out again for another throw-in. 0-0, 10.5 minutes played here on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. This opening game of Group H, this final group yet to get underway at the 2022 FIFA World Cup, and the other two sides in this group play next, Portugal and Ghana. So if a side can get anything out of this game, an early advantage, that would be good, because it is quite an open group, this one, and certainly you want to start things off well.
Yeah, you're right. I think, well, there's no easy groups in the World Cup when you qualify, but this is a tough group. So is the Brazil group as well. But there's a lot of tough groups in the World Cup.
South Korea with possession in their own half again. Now that's with Jung in the centre circle. Really good distributor of the ball, John. A really key part of this South Korea team under Paulo Bento. Son on the left. You can hear the jeers and the cries from the crowd on that far side, who are South Korea fans, as they believe their captain was fouled, and so did he, from that face he's just made at the referee. What do you think, Clinton?
Yeah, you can see he does. No, it's not a foul for me. I think he's good defend. Son kind of leads his foot into him, but it's really good defending. And Palestri going back, helping out the fullback as well. Good defending. Yeah,
Caceres, one of those involved as well there. Just being cute, making sure that he managed to dispossess Son without giving away the foul. Caceres, one of three players starting for Uruguay in their fourth World Cup. Another one now looking to get on the end of this. That's Luis Suarez there and Darwin Núñez. And that was Vecino there as well, really trying to get on the end of that ball, as Uruguay trying a really quick counter-attack there. But South Korea doing well there to send them wide, and just doing enough to make sure that the shot wasn't on target.
Yeah, Vecino should really do better. It was a good ball from Valverde. He played him in, and he didn't really check his shoulders. If he checks his shoulders, he can take it on his chest and have a shot. He tries to flick it on, and it goes straight through to the goalkeeper. So that's the first time, as I say, it's good combination play, and that's what they want to see Valverde, the Uruguayan supporters and the rest of the players, further up the field, because he can create chances and also can score goals.
It's a first early warning sign for South Korea. Still Uruguay 0, South Korea 0. 12.5 minutes played here on BBC Radio 5 Live. A reminder, we have coverage of all of the games of the 2022 FIFA World Cup across BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. If you're out and about, take us with you with your BBC Sounds app, as South Korea have possession again just on the left. Opt to switch it now again, more into the midfield, and the ball is cleared from the edge of the area as Darwin Núñez dispossesses South Korea, sends the ball up to Suarez. Now he's moved it across field. Uruguay now with Valverde, opt to send it to the right. Caceres setting up Palestri. And this is a good bit of play really here from Uruguay, good bit of possession as they really try and find their way into the game, something they've really failed to do as yet, but a good bit of possession here for them here at the moment. Oliveira sends it back to Jimenez.
I told you about the shape that they would have, Maz. Look at the shape from South Korea. They don't mind Godin and the centre backs having the ball there. They're not bothered because you're not hurting. It's when it comes into Bentancur, Valverde, that's when they'll go and press and try play on the counter attack.
Yeah, under Paulo Bento, South Korea very used sometimes to playing almost a 5 in defence when they're not in possession, and they're happy here for Uruguay to kind of knock it around, really just around the centre of the pitch, because they're not really
I tell you one thing, Maz, Caceres won't really go forward that much. He's better defender than he is going forward. It will have to be Oliveira.
And that's unlike Jung, the South Korea midfielder, giving the ball away now here, and Palestri with it just midway through the South Korea half, but some really good work there from the holding midfielder to win possession again. His mistake, he followed Palestri all the way and regaining possession for South Korea. That just sums up the hard work that this team always put into every aspect of their game.
Yeah, it's a given with this South Korea team. They have to work hard. If you lose the ball, can the next person go and win the ball back? And that's what they've done. Palestri will be disappointed. He doesn't check his shoulders, and they win the ball back comfortably. And now South Korea start to build an attack again.
And it's Jung again. He is the distributor really across the centre of that South Korea team. He's been a mainstay really under Paulo Bento since the Portuguese took over as head coach over 4 years ago now. He's been selected basically pretty much every squad that Bento has had, and certainly when he's been available, if he's not been injured or he's not been unavailable for some reason, he's always been that consistent mainstay in the centre of the park for South Korea, and looking really bright in the early stages as the long crossfield ball there out to the left for South Korea. Soo-jun tries to get the cross into the box, just going over the top of the crossbar though.
Yeah, it's a good ball. You're right, from Jun Wong Young. It was a hell of a ball from midfield. He sprays it diagonal and he just can't keep in. He tries to get his cross in, but the ball already goes out. But they look a threat, South Korea. I actually came into the game today thinking Uruguay will dominate, and not that it will be comfortable, because there's no easy games in the World Cup apart from Spain. Well, Spain can do that to a lot of teams against Costa Rica, but there's no easy games. So I thought it would be more Uruguay dominating, but South Korea have dominated the first half so far.
That was Kim Ji-sun running onto the end of that really nice crossfield ball. I mean, we talk about South Korea, and this is a 10th successive World Cup for them. So, they are showing, obviously, that real improvement, that progress when we think of 20 years on from their home World Cup in 2002. A lot of these players talk about the memories of watching that home World Cup as the reason they got into football, which makes me feel really old. What are your memories of 2002, Clinton?
No, I was at the World Cup in 2002, so I got good memories of it. I was there part of the Island squad, so yeah, it was brilliant memories. But yeah, that makes me feel old now, so I think we should just concentrate on this game instead of talking about how old I am.
Well, that was their best finish, of course, in 2002, South Korea, as they have a player down injured here. Just looked like there was a painful knock on the knee of Na there. He's up on his feet but limping a bit, just clutching his right knee. Seems to be running it off now though, and looking to get on the end of this ball. Goes out to the right though to Kim. Cross is blocked by Darwin Núñez, and then a mix-up in the South Korea attack means that it goes out for a goal kick. Impressive though to see Darwin Núñez at the back there as well, doing his bit defending for the team. Yeah,
you ask any strike, he probably don't want to be doing that, but he is doing that because they're playing like a front three with Palestri on the right, Suarez in the middle, Núñez on the left. He's done it a few times at Liverpool, but I think his best position is playing through the middle. So I thought maybe they might go a 4-4-2, but they've actually started in a 4-3-3 Uruguay.
Yeah, the reminder, Darwin Núñez is sort of playing out of his favourite position really, because Suarez is the main man up front and the current Liverpool man in a supportive role really of the former Liverpool man, with Palestri up there as well in that front three. So really interesting that Uruguay have gone for the 4-3-3 rather. They had a lot of success in their qualifiers in a 4-2-2 as the shot comes in there from Valverde. He's claiming for a corner. It certainly went over the crossbar. And interesting to see if the final touch came off a South Korea player, but a good, quick bit of counter-attacking there from Uruguay, Clinton.
Yeah, it's a fantastic ball. It's a great run from Valverde from midfield. His first touch is brilliant. He takes it with his right and tries to get it away, but it's at a height where it's difficult to control it and take it down. But brilliant touch from Valverde, and it just goes over the bar, but that's better from Uruguay.
That's probably Uruguay's best chance. Still no goals, 18.5 minutes paid at the Education City Stadium. It was a goal kick, so South Korea take it short and are going to build again, as they so often do from the back, trying to make some inroads down the left and up to send it back to Jung, their midfielder linchpin, and losing out to Godan, who now picks up possession for Uruguay in the South Korea half. Tries the looping ball forward to Suarez. It goes out for a throw-in on the far side. 0-0 nearly 20 minutes gone here on BBC Radio 5 Live in this final first group game of this 2022 World Cup. Uruguay against South Korea. It is going to be a throw-in for Uruguay on the far side. Caceres, so experienced, one of these real experienced players in this side, taking the long throw-in. A good throw-in as well. That's going through straight to Uruguay in the box, and South Korea forced to try a bit of an interesting clearance, and it goes out again for a Uruguay throw-in, just level with the 18-yard box on this near side.
Yeah, Caceres throws it into Vicino in the box, and he tries to hook it back, but there's not enough bodies in the box, and South Korea deal with it. But the game's starting to open up now, because Uruguay are getting into the game. They were dominating South Korea, and I think that's better for South Korea if Uruguay do come out and start playing, because they'll be good on the counter-attack.
Godan with the ball at his feet at the moment, the Uruguay captain, opting to switch it left this time, and Bentancur, one of the players who's been calling for the ball, in really good form at the moment, tries to feed it in there, and the foul comes in from South Korea player, and it will be a Uruguay free kick just inside their own half.
Yeah, Jung just catches Oliveira. Oliveira just gets told to it, but I think he gets the ball. It's the follow through from Jung. He does get the ball, but it's the follow through why the referee gives the decision. But when you're running at that pace, man, it's hard to, control it. I think he got the ball. I don't think it should be a free kick. And the manager, Paolo Bento, is telling the referee he doesn't agree either.
He completely agrees with you. Palestri there with the feed in into Nunes. He falls over, then the cross comes in again from the left from Uruguay, and that was a really good chance there for Uruguay, as we can see there on the replay and our monitors here that certainly they were onside. Palestri there with the cross into the box. Nunes misses it. Suarez attempts to then get the knock on as the cross then comes back in from the left. Should he have done better with that, Clinton?
He should do better, Nunes. Uruguay should be winning 1-0. Palestri does ever so well. It's a great diagonal pass, and Palestri controls it, and Nunes just gets in front. I will give credit to Kim and Jay, who kind of tries to ease him out, but once he gets there, he totally miskicks it, Nunes. It was good defending, but I think he knows he should be 1-0 up.
Midway through this first half then, Uruguay giving South Korea a real scare. They should be ahead, but it still remains goalless in this opening group match of Group H. But Uruguay can really feel that the momentum has shifted, and they suddenly have the bit between their teeth in this game now.
Yeah, they are. They're dominating possession now, and South Korea were good at the early stages, but that's what they have to be careful of. They are looking to hit that diagonal to Palestri and to Nunes, so that's what South Korea have to be careful of.
Yeah. Jung, one of those players who's going to be really, really important for them, just gesturing at some of his teammates where he wants them to line up. Got to keep an eye on some of these really prolific attacking options that Uruguay have. A really exciting South Korean team, and South Korean support as well has been a big part of this. South American support, I should say, has been a really big part of this World Cup as well. We've seen plenty of Brazil fans already at this World Cup, plenty of Uruguay fans in the stands here as well. Sea of blue behind the goal they're attacking in this first half of the Education City Stadium, and they really are seeing a lot more of the ball now in South Korea's half. Bentancur really knocking it about with plenty of free time, and well, then clearly a game plan from South Korea not to shut or try and close Uruguay down in this area of the field, but it just allows Uruguay so much of the ball.
Yeah, you are right. I feel that is let the centre-halves have it for sure, but then you've got to go, when it goes into the Valverde, into Bentancur, the technicians in the team, that's when you have to go and press, and at the moment it's a good spell from Uruguay.
Godan on the ball, plenty of time. Bentancur sends it out to the left this time. Now Uruguay are in South Korea half. 23 minutes played on BBC Radio 5 Live. Take us with you wherever you go on BBC Sounds as well. That's a foul from South Korea as they try to regain the ball on Valverde. And this will be a good set-piece opportunity for Uruguay, perhaps in South Korea's half.
Yeah, and I don't think they'll turn it down. They'll send up the defenders, and they will try and put it into the box. It will have to be good delivery, because that's what you want. Pull it, good delivery, and give players a chance to go and attack the ball.
Valverde looked so full of confidence and started the season so well for Real Madrid. Really key part in the Champions League victory for Real Madrid, of course, in May in the Champions League final as well, setting up the winner. He is, not surprisingly, perhaps the player standing over this ball. Referee just making sure that there isn't too much physical battles going on before he blows his whistle in the box. Valverde lofts the free kicking, header goes up, it goes out, and well, Uruguay seem disappointed that they didn't do better with that set-piece opportunity. Jimenez with his head in his hands there, Clinton.
Yeah, he does. I feel he feels he's going to get a touch, but it's a really good header just before Jimenez is about to head it. It's really good defending, and that Uruguay get a corner from it.
Yeah, corner from the right for Uruguay. 25 minutes gone in this first half between Uruguay and South Korea in Group H at this World Cup. Valverde, the man who's going to take it on the far side. The corner from the right then for Uruguay. Corner comes in, headers go up. It's cleared out the area by South Korea. Picked up though by Caceres and sends it back to Uruguay defence. They opt to go left this time, or through the middle rather. Nunes on the board trying to feed in Suarez, but South Korea able to clear it. And now they're setting Son away in his counter-attack. Listen to the noise from the South Korea fans as they watch their talisman as he skips past one, tries to skip past another. Cross comes in from the corner of the 18-yard box, cleared out for a throw. But that's just what Son can do on the counter, showing what he shows in, week out in a Tottenham shirt.
Caceres can't live with Son in a one-on-one. He skips past him like he's not there. He does catch him. He goes inside Valverde and he tries to whip it. It's a cross-come shot, but it's well defended. But that's what South Korea want. They want Uruguay to come out and then on the counter-attack, because I don't think any defender in that Uruguay back four can stay with Son when he's running them at them one-on-one.
He looks like he's running all right, still wearing that mask. His manager talked about him training in it all week to get used to wearing it, and it seems to not have made a difference at the moment. Uruguay claiming for a handball there as South Korea tried to work the ball from that throw-in on the left-hand side. And now it's Uruguay who are growing possession with Bentancur. They are on the counter now into midway through South Korea's half. Ball goes out on the left to Nunes, tight angle, blocked by the goalkeeper. And South Korea breathe again, still with the ball in their own half. Now they send it forward. Too long. That will be gathered by the Uruguay keeper, but a good chance there for Uruguay. Should Darwin Nunes have done a lot better, though?
He shouldn't do better. You know he should do better, Maz. Oliveira. The pass is terrible. All he has to do is just cushion it into Nunes' pass, and he can bend that into the far corner. Oliveira gets excited, raise a fullback, getting into a position which he's unknown for, and overhits the pass. If he just plays that to Nunes can come onto that and bend it into the far corner. So it's poor play, but that is the first time South Korea have been open where they've took too many players forward, and Uruguay played on the counter-attack there.
Yeah, too over-eager South Korea there. A little bit overexcited, leaving themselves exposed at the back, but still without a goal in this opening Group H matches. Palestra goes on the run again on the left for Uruguay. Dispossessed, though, showing a little bit too much of the ball to Kim in the South Korea defence, and then he is fouled, and that will be a South Korea free kick in their own half. And they will be happy to take that. Just take a few moments to just calm this down game a little bit, because momentum's really shifted Uruguay's way in the last couple of minutes. It
has, and we're watching the replay again. It's not a hard pass. He's just totally overhit it, Oliveira, to Nunes. All he has to do is just play it into his path, and he's totally overhit it, and it's be frustrated, because that's a big opportunity for Uruguay. But you're right, Kim Ji-sun is going to have it difficult with Palestri, because he looks really lively on the right-hand side, a young Man United star. I know he hasn't played for Man United as yet, but he is a star and he's got great potential.
Yeah, a player that his manager, Diego Alonso, has selected, even though, as Clinton says, he hasn't played a senior minute for Manchester United at all, but made a big difference to this Uruguay side, who won all their qualifiers this year after a difficult time in South American qualifying, unbeaten competitively under Diego Alonso since he took over at the beginning of the year. South Korea, though, with possession in Uruguay's half. Now it's back with their defence in the centre circle. They send the long ball forward. That is going to be too long, though, for South Korea to chase down. That's going to be a throw-in for Uruguay, a couple of yards inside their own half. 0-0, 29 minutes played between Uruguay and South Korea here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Paulo Bento, the South Korea coach, just looking a little bit concerned on the touchline, because in the last couple of minutes this game has perhaps gone back a little bit in momentum of Uruguay. Oliveira taking the throw in. Good bit of work though there from South Korea to regain possession in Uruguay's half, and they have it out here on a tight angle on the right. Bentancur with some work though to put it out for another throw in, which South Korea will take a couple of yards just inside the byline on this near side touchline, deep inside Uruguay's half, which they take. They're going to try and get the cross in. Good bit of pressing though from Darwin Nunes, forcing play back. And South Korea forced all the way back into their own half as we approach the half-hour mark now in this game.
They're trying to press Uruguay, you can see, but they're pressing as individuals. You see Suarez saying to the midfielders, come on, press together, but South Korea have done well to get out of that, and you can see he's getting more and more frustrated up front, Luis Suarez.
Yeah, the body language he just gave out there, really quite interesting, wasn't it? Almost trudging back to his place there, Luis Suarez, and again, he puts his head down. He's really not seen an awful lot of the ball at all. I mean, there was that great chance that he had a few minutes ago, and that's probably the kind of only sniff really he's had. South Korea have done pretty well so far keeping Luis Suarez quiet.
Yeah, I think if he gets the chance Nunes gets, he probably puts that in the back of the net, because even though Nunes is a natural striker, scored a lot of goals at Benfica, been scoring goals at Liverpool, but it was just the way he didn't take it straight away, and that was a sign of, is he in confident mood? And he should be, because he's been scoring at Liverpool recently.
Yeah, joined obviously Liverpool at the beginning of this season. It's been though a bit of a mixed start for Darwin Núñez in the Premier League, and I think you can tell that he's perhaps not full of confidence in the way he wasn't able really to take on that chance that he had a couple of minutes ago. Probably the best chance of this first half. Uruguay with the two best chances really, but it is still goalless with about 15 minutes to go to half time now on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. South Korea now with the ball midway through Uruguay's half. Cross comes in from the left, header goes up, misses everyone though, and the ball will go out for a throw-in on this near side. Yeah,
it was good play from South Korea again. The ball goes out to Kim Joo-sun on the left-hand side, and he puts it into an area, but they've got 3 or 4 bodies in there, but he just overhits it. But the opportunities are for the fullbacks to get forward, because when Son and the other winger come inside, there's spaces for the fullbacks to get forward and get crosses into the box.
But this is going to be a throw-in just a couple of yards inside the near side touchline in Uruguay's half. As well, about 32 minutes gone now in this half. Oliveira taking it, throwing it up towards Núñez, and it will go out for another throw-in. This one a South Korea one. Midway through Uruguay's half now, and good bit of work there from South Korea to hold off Uruguay as they physically try to outmuscle this South Korea side. And in terms of that physical battle, I mean, half an hour gone, Clinton, South Korea have handled it pretty well. We talk a lot about the physical mismatch perhaps of these two sides, but they seem to have handled that pretty well in the opening half hour.
No, they have. They've competed ever so well, because we always hear about Uruguay being strong and physically stronger than most, but they've competed even when crosses have gone into the box. As long as you're not going to get the first contact, make sure you compete and they don't get a free header, and that's what South Korea have done so far.
And it is South Korea again on the ball. Nice ball fed out to the left. He's going to try and get the cross in here, a couple of yards outside the byline, cross into the Uruguay box, headed clear by Bentancur, picked up though by South Korea, and they still maintain possession, regain possession in Uruguay's half. And another frustrated kind of body language there that we're seeing from Luis Suarez, who certainly is feeling frustrated, I think, with perhaps the overall kind of performance really of his side for the majority of the half, but also the fact he hasn't been able to see much of the ball, as South Korea now have possession a couple of yards outside the box. Jung there feeding it out to the left, ball to the middle, over the top. That is far and away South Korea's best chance of this first half. We're expecting the back of the net there to billow as the cross came in there from the right to Hwang Ui-jo, and what a chance that was from Hwang Ui-jo, the Nottingham Forest loanee at Olympiacos this season. Deary me, that was a really, really good chance there, Clinton.
Hwang, he has to score. He's just 7 yards out, Maz, and he's leaning back. Just lean over it and just pass it into the back of net. It's a great opportunity, and Kim does ever so well down the right-hand side, and once it comes into Hwang, he's got to do better. He's leaning back and he plays it over the bar. Just slot it into the bottom corner. It tells me a striker that's not in confident form, because he should really be hitting the target there.
That
opportunity.
Absolutely the best chance so far of this half. I mean, do you think it's just a lack of composure? He took it on too quickly. Godan was obviously maybe perhaps coming into his island from the left as well, but
he was. But you know what? He can. No, it's a great chance. He's got Golden coming across him. You know what he's doing? He's leaning back instead of going to meet it, going onto it to then whip it into the far corner. He's leaning back, and once you're leaning back, the ball's going to rise over the net. But it's a brilliant opportunity. And they probably wanted that to fall to Son, because if that falls to Son, it's 1-0 to South Korea.
Yeah, they've just shown a replay of Son with his head in his hands there as well. What an opportunity that was for South Korea. The best opportunity of this first half falling to South Korea 10 minutes before half time. And Uruguay this time are able to breathe a little easier, because it really should be Uruguay 0, South Korea 1. As it is, still goalless. 10 minutes till half-time here on BBC Radio 5 Live. If you are out and about, do take us with you on BBC Sounds. People are starting their Christmas shopping. You start your Christmas
Yeah,
shopping,
when they're driving, they want to listen to me and you. Yeah, please listen. Turn the radio on and listen to us.
And already today, of course, on BBC Radio 5 Live, we've brought you Switzerland against Cameroon as Oliveira tries to run down the cross from the right. He'll go out for a throw-in. That cross from Valverde, a little bit overhit. But already today on BBC Radio 5 Live, we brought you Switzerland against Cameroon. Switzerland winning that game 1-0. 4 games a day, such a packed day of World Cup action we've got for you here as South Korea take that throw-in. Lose out though. Good work by Bentancur to regain possession for Uruguay in South Korea's half. Valverde very calmly playing it back to Caceres and Godin. Two very experienced defenders, as we say, playing in their 4th World Cup. Caceres and Godin, which is a remarkable achievement. Jimenez. Caceres now, who now sends it out to Pellistri on the right. And again, as we've talked about already this game, South Korea very happy for Uruguay just to tap it around really in this area of the pitch. 9 minutes to go till half-time. Either side yet to get a breakthrough, but there have been some mightily close moments for both sides. In particular, a couple of minutes ago for Hwang Ee-jo, Nottingham Forest man on loan at Olympiacos. Should really have shown better composure and to see that one into the back of the net, but as it is still 0-0.
You're not missing anything, people, anyway, because Caceres and Godin are just playing the ball between them and not going anywhere. And then Bentancur goes, I'm not having any of that, and passes forward. Yeah.
I'm going to send it through to Pellistri instead. He's going to try and make something happen on the right, but I guess that's a reflection as well, like we're saying, of how organised South Korea are off the ball, Clinton, that most of the time when they've really concentrated, and they have lost the shape a couple of times, and just demonstrated there as Oliveira puts the ball out for a throw-in on this near side over hitting it, that most of the time South Korea off the ball have been really organised, really concentrated, and kept their shape, making it really difficult for Uruguay to break them down.
They do, and that's a lot of work on the training pitch. You got to credit the manager and the players that buy into what the manager's telling them, but yeah, that's a lot of work on the training ground, because they know when to press, when to get back into their shape, and that's what they're doing well at the moment. Just force the mistakes there from Uruguay, and they kick the ball out of play. So I think South Korea will be happy, Uruguay will be frustrated at the moment.
It is a throw-in for South Korea, which they're going to take midway through Uruguay's half on this mid-side touchline. They are attacking towards their fans in this first half, South Korea, and they really are full of noise, the South Korean fans. Been chanting, banging their drums all this first half. Hopefully you can hear it behind us here on BBC Radio 5 Live. They send the ball back into their half. It's with Kim in the defence. Now it goes forward on the left. That's Son Heung-min with that distinctive facial mask that he's got on. Switches it out to the right. Now it moves more centrally again. Couple of yards outside the box. The shot comes in from well out wide. That seemed quite an optimistic one to go for there, Clinton, but that was well out wide. That was, 25 yards out. Tried to take the shot on there, Hwang, and well over in the end.
Yeah, Wang and boom. I feel like he may be trying to whip that into the far corner, Maz, but it then becomes a shot and it just flies over the top, because he's really ambitious to beat the goalkeeper from there.
And a nice ball there from Uruguay, cutting through the South Korea defence, but again, just a little bit overhit, and Darwin Núñez not able to run onto the end of it. Now it's South Korea on the counter on the edge of the 18-yard box. Now they're in the box. Cross comes in from the left, couple of yards out, cleared somewhat by Uruguay. Valverde picking it up, mopping up, showing all the composure that he's shown in a Real Madrid shirt this season, and getting Uruguay out of trouble there. Darwin Núñez, with the coming together with South Korean player, goes down, and South Korea able to regain possession and build again from the right. Will now go out though for a throw-in on this near side after the ball comes off Oliveira.
Yeah, Lee Jansung done ever so well there. He drives into the box and cuts it back, and Son gets in the way of his teammate. They kind of like collide together, and then you're right, as Valverde does ever so hard what midfielders does, come back into the shape and manages to clear it. But South Korea are on the front foot at the moment. They're dominating.
Yeah, momentum shifted once more with 5 minutes to go plus stoppage time till half time. Still goalless in this Group H opening match, but South Korea starting the more strongly. Uruguay then wrestling back momentum really, but South Korea in these final few minutes looking promising again, and they're the fans that are making the noise at this end that they're attacking in this first half. Now the ball's with Suarez, but The back pass back is not a good one, and South Korea almost able to go on the attack again, and he'll be relieved to see that didn't come to too much Luis Suarez. But South Korea, as organised as they are and as pressing as they are, regain possession again, and Luis Suarez is cutting a frustrated figure out there at the moment.
No, he is, but he has to hold the ball up. The ball then comes into him then, Maz. He can't be frustrated with his teammates if he's not being reliable when it comes up to him.
And the ball's fed in to South Korea in the box. Cross comes in from the right, blocked by Uruguay. Only so far, though, as South Korea again, who now try to get another cross in, blocked again. South Korea with the ball with Jun. Feeds it into Son Heung-min, edge of the box. Out now to the right. Plenty of outfield players for Uruguay back. As we approach half-time here, still goalless. Can South Korea get the breakthrough a couple of minutes before half-time at the Education City Stadium? Jun, distributing so well as he has done for the majority of this first half, is assessing his options, passes it to Son. Son now sends it back, and South Korea with a good bit of possession in the Uruguay half in the final few minutes of this first half. About 3.5 minutes plus stoppage time to play. Paolo Bento on the edge of his technical area, watching as his team try to find the breakthrough in the final couple of minutes of this first half. Go down there, shepherding along with Oliveira to get the ball to, well, relative safety, and then Rodrigo Bentancur with some good work to send Pellistri on his way out on the right. Uruguay on the counter. Suarez trying to get on the end of that. Jung doing really well to get the ball and get it to safety for a corner. Good work there.
It's a good break from Uruguay. It's a great ball from Valverde down the right to Pellistri, and he picks Suarez out. It's going to be an opportunity, but Jung, it's brilliant tracking back. He does ever so well, because Suarez definitely look like he's going to hit the target with that shot, but it was good play from Uruguay and really good defending from Jung.
So with 3 minutes to go until half-time, this could be a really timely opportunity for Uruguay. It's going to be a corner for them from the right. I imagine it's going to be Valverde. He's going to take it, but the referee is just making sure that everybody is getting organised in this box. It is indeed Valverde. Corner comes in, headers go up, and it was off the post, the left-hand post. That was so mighty close from the Uruguay captain, Diego Godin.
Yeah, he got it. He gets a free header, to be fair, and that's the one thing. They do attack the ball, and he gets up early, heads it, and I'm thinking that's going in the back of the net, but it goes to the post and then goes away to safety, and South Korea managed to clear it. But it's a great header from Godin, but once it's a great, he towers above him. Brilliant header. Yeah,
it's a real physical mismatch. Another set-piece opportunity for Uruguay this here, as Oliveira sends it back to Bentancur. Uruguay still with possession in South Korea's half, but what a chance that was for their captain Godin to give Uruguay a half-time lead here. I mean, the two players marking him, Clinton, did go up, but like you say, the physical mismatch is such that he towered above them, even though all three of them were jumping up at the same time.
Yeah, he wanted to win it. He went up, he wanted to win it more, and he did. He went and attacked it. The ball in is brilliant. Once you whip a ball in like that, it says Golden head me, but you got to credit Golden. It's a fantastic header, and South Korea were really fortunate there.
So a couple of minutes to go, 1.5 minutes, 1 minute I've got till half-time with stoppage time as well here. Uruguay still goalless against South Korea in this opening group match of Group H, as Godin on the ball now. The closest opportunity that anyone's come to opening the scoring in this first half. Sends the ball forward to Oliveira on the left in South Korea's half. And wow, some good bit of work there from South Korea. A header along the ground there to regain possession, but Nunes showing all of his strength to regain possession, goes down under a foul, challenge, and it will be a free kick for Uruguay just inside the South Korea half. And Clinton's laughing because we're, as Mark Chapman mentioned before commentary, we are doing this game from our studios in Salford, and torrential rain is just hitting the windows of the studio that we are in here on the third floor of this building, as Uruguay have possession with Pellistri on the left. Now it's back with Bentancur. Now Valverde sends it out to Oliveira, cross from the left, header goes in, wide. It's another good opportunity that there.
Yeah, I think Jimenez got his head on it and he just couldn't direct it. But they're a threat. We did say that, Maz. There'll be a threat from crosses into the box, and that's what Uruguay are. So it's going to be difficult for South Korea. That's where you have to get touch tight and compete. No free headers like Godin had a couple of minutes ago.
Just 1 minute of stoppage time at the end of this first half, which feels weird to say because we've been having 7 minutes, 9 minutes.
Are they sure it's meant to be?
Just the one.
That's going to be a quiz question at the end of the tournament. That is the lowest one. They're usually above 5.
And we're into that minute of stoppage time now, so probably 30 seconds or so to go in this game until half time. Still goalless as the goal kick is taken by Kim, and the South Korea goal is all the way up into Uruguay's half. Goes out though for a thrown on this near side, and that is that for the first half. So goalless in the opening match in Group H between Uruguay and South Korea, but it has been a really entertaining goalless draw, Clinton Morris, and great chances for, well, Suarez should have done better with one at one end, Nunez as well, Hwang Ijou with an absolutely brilliant opportunity to put South Korea ahead, and then Godan, the Uruguayan captain, hitting the post at the other end. It has been an action-packed 0-0.
No, it has. It's been really good. It's been entertaining. You usually get 0-0s and you think, is it a boring one? Nah. South Korea have been on the front foot. They've been excellent in possession, causing problems. And also Uruguay grew into the game slowly but surely. But it's gone one way and then it's gone the other way. There will be goals in this game. I said it before, and hopefully I'm not wrong. But it's been a good 0-0, but there has been chances created.
So 0-0 at half-time between Uruguay and South Korea. And I hope you're enjoying slightly better weather than we are here, Mark Chapman.
Well, dusk always falls around this time in Doha, so it's just starting to go dark at nearly 10 to 5 out here in Qatar, 10 to 2 back in the UK. South Korea, you would think in particular, could be left to rue that very good chance they had, Clinton.
Oh, it's a great chance, chappers. Kim does well, and Hwang Ijou, should put that in the back of the net. It's a brilliant opportunity. I don't understand how he's got so much time. He could even take a touch and then pick his spot, but he's leaning back. He doesn't come on and meet it, and it's a brilliant opportunity. And they could rue it, but they have been good though, chappers, in this first half. They've impressed me.
Okay, Clinton Morrison and Maz Faruqi bringing you Uruguay against South Korea. That is goalless at half-time. Earlier, Switzerland beat Cameroon by 1-0. Still to come, Portugal, Ghana, and Brazil, Serbia. We'll hear from the England camp during a half-time, ahead of their game with the United States, which is a late one tomorrow. So 7 o'clock kickoff UK time for that. But first, here's Richard Foster.
Take the World Cup with you. Qatar 2022
on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Mark. Good afternoon. Schools across Scotland are closed as teachers take part in their first national strike since the 1980s. The Scottish Government says their demands for a 10% pay rise are unaffordable. Royal Mail workers and university staff are also on picket lines today. Emily Doughty is a second-year student at Durham University.
It's a bit annoying when you think of all the hours you're losing. I'm only losing 3 hours, but I only get about 9 contact hours a week. Our lecturers have been really open about the reasons they're striking. And so I think I support the strike action because we see the lecturers, we're all struggling together. Net
migration in the UK hit a record level in the year to June. The difference between the number of people coming to live here and those leaving was just over 500,000. The government says it's committed to bringing down overall numbers. Nearly 3 in 10 ambulance crews have had to wait half an hour or more to hand over patients at accident and emergency departments in England in the past week. The transfer time is meant to be within 15 minutes of arrival. Analysts estimate the government will have to pay £16 billion to help households with energy costs after the regulator increased its price cap. Ofgem says bills will rise to more than £4,200 a year unless there's government support from January. David Alexander from York has had his gas supply disconnected to cut costs.
I checked online with my bills and I was in debt by over £1,100. I've lived in this house over 45 years and I have never been in debt with my gas and electric.
Police are contacting 70,000 people to warn them they've been the victim of huge banking scams. They're thought to have lost millions of pounds in the con, which involves spoof calls from fraudsters. And the TV presenter Johnny Irwin has accused the producers of A Place in the Sun of dropping him after he told them he had terminal cancer. He says Freeform Productions paid him off and didn't renew his contract. The company and Channel 4, which shows the programme, said they wanted him to stay but couldn't get insurance.
The World Cup on BBC Sounds.
With coverage of every single game on 5 Live.
Oh, what an amazing goal! Kylian Mbappe!
Expert analysis and debate with some of the biggest names in football on the World Cup Daily Podcast.
What Gareth Southgate wants is that they can perform under the most intense pressure they will ever experience.
And a bit of fun in Match of the Day Top 10 with Gary Lineker.
Micah Richards is back along with Alan Shearer and myself for the biggest international football tournament on the planet.
Take the World Cup with you. Listen on BBC Sounds.
BBC 5 Live.
The FIFA World Cup, Qatar 2022 with Mark Chapman.
Goalless between Uruguay and South Korea at half-time. Earlier, Switzerland beat Cameroon 1-0. And the Swiss keeper, Jan Sommer, got player of the match, having made 5 saves in the game. Although to then rather diminish the award, he was asked afterwards who he'd like to share it with.
Oh, with everybody. With the whole team, because we worked hard 1 year preparation for this tournament. Now I know 2 weeks in Doha, and it's always important to win the first game to take a positive feeling out of it. And good team performance. It was a hard, tough game, and really happy with our team performance.
So even when the goalies do win it, Rob Green, they still don't get the full credit.
Selfless. It's just a selfless bunch. And it's about time. If it's a 1-0 win, you can have the best game in your career, and the centre forward, where it goes in off his backside, he'll still get man of the match. So it's about time.
Let's head to the England camp. They take on the USA tomorrow evening. Gareth Southgate earlier provided an update on some of his players' fitness ahead of that game to our reporter Kelly Summers.
Well, Gareth, let's start with the news that everyone wants. Just how is Harry Kane?
Yes, fine. He's worked slightly separately from the group today on the second-day recovery, but all good for Friday night.
What about Harry Maguire? He came off early in the game against Iran. Kyle Walker and James Maddison weren't available on Monday. How are they doing? Yeah, so Harry, much better. He was feeling a bit ill, and that was affecting his vision a little bit. The good thing was, obviously you worry about a concussion in that instance, and he hadn't remembered anything, which might not be a good sign, by the way. But we were going back through all the footage. There's nothing, and FIFA were doing the same, because obviously there's a lot of focus on that area. So he's in good form. Kyle Walker has continued to step up his training with the group. James hasn't got back with the group yet, so we're hoping that in the next couple of days that might change. But he's definitely a doubt for the game with the States. Did you think Harry Maguire will be okay for Friday? Yes, absolutely, yeah. And Kyle Walker? Yes, Kyle will be available for selection, yeah. But potentially not James Maddison at this stage? I would say not, no. Okay. Let's look back on the Iran game then. You came out post-match and said to me you were being a bit of a grumpy so-and-so. Have you had a chance to look back, and are you feeling any more positive about it now? Yeah, of course. I have to remind myself that we've got opening game of a World Cup, potentially a tricky obstacle to overcome, and we've managed to score 6 goals. So I think immediately after the game, because the game had petered out and the end was disappointing from our perspective, because we want to be good at both ends of the pitch. I just wanted to make sure that the team remembered that that won't be enough, and we've got to make sure that we're back to the psychological place we were at the start of the previous game going into this next game, because the States will be all guns blazing. They press really well, and we'll have to be right on our game from the start of it. England and yourself have received a lot of credit for the attacking way that you played and some of the performances going forward. Did you see enough in that game to suggest that England can play like that going forward as a team? Yeah, I mean, look, I think we often have. I think people have a certain lens at certain times, and of course our last few games prior to the World Cup were a little bit complicated for us. But I think if you spoke with the players, they would be very clear on how they're asked to play and the freedom they're given to play ever since we took over here. So, yeah, I know that narrative's there, but all we can do is play the football we want to play, be the team we want to be, and do our talking on the pitch, really. Have you felt a mood shift or a mood change around the group and potentially the noise around it as well since the result on Monday?
I haven't, because we were really looking forward to Monday, and I'm kind of shut off in my own bubble in our hotel and oblivious to everything else that's going on, really. So I haven't noticed any change. The players might, because they're obviously reading more, listening to more, talking to more people. But for me, I know how we wanted to approach that first game. I know the environment we've wanted to create for the players since they arrived, and Monday was a great start, and we've tried to focus on just that reset now for being ready for Friday.
What are you expecting from the USA?
Athletic team, press really well organised, well coached. Obviously quite a few players we know from the Premier League, and yeah, they showed in the first half against Wales the best side of themselves, that they can cause problems. They're going to put us under pressure when we're in possession of the ball, and we've got to make sure that we've got the solutions for that.
Gareth Southgate with Kelly Summers. He's relaxed but not getting carried away. That would be the best way to sum that up, wouldn't it?
I think he's a lot more relaxed than he was before the first game, wasn't he? And John Murray was saying he's a little bit tetchy, wasn't he? And now I think that just the unknowing of how they were going to perform, whether it would click, whether the energy would be there. They've got that answer now, and he knows that he's got the better side. He knows that they're a better team than America. If, and it's a big if, they go out and do the same again, then they should be in a good enough shape to win that game as well.
Well, also, the other thing is, even though he speaks brilliantly on all subjects, he's being asked about fitness of players, form of players, the formations, and in the build-up to this tournament, that was a very small part of the questions. Not that he was averse to answering them and realised that was part of it, but he's answering a lot easier questions now than he was in the 2 weeks leading up to it.
He's at home. He's on his own territory now again, and he's in a position now where he's got pretty much the squad he would like. Reece James maybe is the one that you'd say is the obvious one. Ben Chilwell on the left is the other one. But compared to other sides, actually, he's got fit players. He's got players out there playing well, and a unit and a team that's working, and he can focus on the game itself.
Luke Shaw also spoke today, and this is what he expects from Friday's opponents.
A really good team, some really good players, very direct, very aggressive, really high pressure, especially in the start of the game, and I think that's something we need to be ready for. They're going to press us as soon as that whistle starts, so it's going to be a very intense game, and one we need to be ready for. We need to keep that attacking intent. We need to play forward. We need to be in their half, play in their half, and create the chances, because you look at our attacking threat. It's world class, and we need to be feeding them in the areas that where they can score from. Of course, we analyse the team, but I think the most important thing for us is to focus on ourselves and make sure that we're all playing at a high level, and we start quick with the way the USA play.
The USA caused Wales real problems, didn't they, Rob, in that first game, in the first half, and then Wales changed it in the second half, brought Kiefer Moore on, went more direct, and that's where the USA felt, precisely they beat the USA press that way.
Yes, and that's what I think England did in a really healthy balance against Iran in the first game, was when they needed to go long.
I'm talking to a microphone, it'll sound horrible, but good to see you sampling the local food. Right, Uruguay are in the tunnel, waiting for South Korea as well. We need a goal here, Clinton, don't we?
Yeah, and some Chris as well. Selfish. Selfish, mate. Selfish. We need a goal and we need some Chris chappers, and then my day's made.
I can only apologise that Kelly bought the crisps for people here in Doha and didn't think of you back in Salford.
Thanks.
Clinton, do you think Uruguay, just watching that first half, do you think I know they've got the aging back line, but can they be a bit more aggressive, be a bit off the ball? Because it seems comfortable for Korea at times.
I agree with you, yeah, go and press, but all Suarez is doing is basically throwing his hands up, Rob, and saying, I want other people to, and not going to press. He should go and press, Palestri should go and press, and then the whole team would move up the pitch. But I do believe they are worried about pacing behind, and Godin is real deep. But you are right, go and be more aggressive and be in South Korea's faces, definitely. And go and have some crisps as well, mate. Tell them to share them with everyone.
Well, we'll let me and Rob are the athletes in this studio.
I know you
Clinton,
two are. I know you are.
As you're well aware.
Obviously.
Right, South Korea in a huddle. The ball is on the spot for Uruguay to kick off. Here's Maz.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, we're nearly back underway here. The second half between Uruguay and South Korea. Uruguay will kick off the second half. The South Korea players were out on the pitch pretty early and all gathered into a huddle just on their half of the pitch by their captain, Son Heung-min. A really good opportunity from Hwang Ui-jo to put them ahead. As we are underway in this second half, you have really good chances at both ends in that first half, Clinton. That Hwang Ui-jo chance that we mentioned, blasted over the crossbar, and Godin, the Uruguay captain who's on the ball at the moment, hitting the left-hand post as well in that first half.
Yeah, there was good chances, and I think what Rob picked up there, he's spot on, to be fair, because it's been too easy for South Korea. Go and put the pressure on them and see what they're like when there's pressure on them. And go and be competitive and compete. But you are right, we've had two great opportunities. The game shouldn't be 0-0, and I think there'll be more opportunities in the second half.
And Godin just tried the long ball over the top there for Luis Suarez. Lestri putting it out of play on this near side as Uruguay shoot from left to right as we're watching this second half. We will go through and remind you of the lineups in a moment as Godin heads the ball, trying to regain possession for Uruguay in the South Korea half. It's back with Oliveira, but Uruguay pushed all the way back into their own half and opt to try the long ball over the top. That was for Valverde, now for Lestri on the edge of it, but good work by Kim there to dispossess him, and that will be a foul and a free kick for South Korea. So we'll just run you through the lineups. As you say, Uruguay shooting from left to right as we watch in this second half. So Roca is at the back. It's a back four of Caceres, Jimenez, the captain Godin and Oliveira. A midfield three of Vecino, Bentancur and Valverde, as Uruguay just hassle South Korea a little bit as they knock the ball between their back and defensive players. Now try the ball forward. And then the front three for Argentina are Palestri, Suarez and Nunez, as Godin shepherds the ball forward, but only so far as South Korea, who have possession just on this left-hand touchline. It's with Son Heung-min. Just as he tries to get the cross in on the left, he's getting out-muscled there by Caceres, and the ball will go out for a Uruguayan throw. Good work there from the experienced Uruguay defender.
Yeah, Caceres does ever so well there. Son's looking for a pass. There's no space. He's trying to roll his foot over it, but Caceres just nudges him out. Son's looking for a foul. So, yeah, good defending there.
And this throw is going to be taken by Caceres, a couple of yards inside the Uruguay half, in front of the Uruguay subs who are warming up. Amongst them, just got a glimpse there of Edison Cavani, as South Korea here now going on the attack. That was what they thought was a foul. Referee's not interested, allow play to continue. The South Korean player has stayed on the ground, is back up on his feet now, and Bentancur just calming things down for Uruguay.
I did think it was a foul. I did think there was probably not the second one, but the first one was a foul, and I think the ref tried to play advantage, but I think South Korea would want the free kick there because it would have been in a dangerous position.
It's a reminder, as we say, that Uruguay are playing from left to right as we watch in this second half, with the familiar light blue tops with the white trim, the black shorts, the black socks. South Korea in their all-white, sort of all-red rather, away kit with black numbers on the back as well, and run you through their lineups. Got a goalkeeper is Kim Song-yu, and then 4 Kims in the back line as well. Kim Moon-hwan, Kim Mi-jae of Napoli, Kim Young-gwon and Kim Ji-sun. Jung, the holding midfield, as the long ball over the top there for Uruguay is just kept in play by Nunes. He's calling for a corner, and that has not been given.
I don't know if the linesman's put the flag up for offside. Yeah. I think Suarez has gone early.
Suarez has gone early, isn't he?
Yeah, you're right.
So that will be a South Korean ball. Jung, the holding midfielder for South Korea, really, really important role to play, certainly in the first half in that holding midfield role. Just ahead of him, Lee, Jae-sung and Hwang, and then the front three of Na, Hwang Lee-jae, who had that fantastic chance to give South Korea the lead, and then Tottenham's Son Heung-min, the captain, on the left as well. So underway in this second half on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. About 4.5 minutes played in the second half. It is a free kick for South Korea that their goalkeeper takes long. And it's headed back by Bentancur. South Korea, though, very organised again and regain possession in Uruguay's half. They are happy again to try and build from the back. So it looks like Paolo Bento is going to stick with the same tactics really in the early stages of the second half in terms of how his South Korea team is set up, Clinton.
Yeah, he is, but you just want Uruguay to go and step on, go and engage it, because it's comfortable South Korea, and the more you give them possession, the more they'll grow into it.
And now it's with Son, edge of the area, opts to run with it rather than try and take the shot, and he gives an opportunity there for Jimenez to regain possession. And Clinton, you had your head in your hands at that moment. Do you think you should have taken that first
You know
touch?
what? I thought maybe you could have the shot, but you know what? I got to credit Jimenez. He's brilliant defending, because I know what Son was trying to do, take that extra touch. And if he had gone through past him, they would have had a shot at goal. But good defending from Jimenez, but really good play again from South Korea.
And now it's with Uruguay. Bentancur sends it forward to Valverde. Good work, though, from South Korea with the sliding tackle to regain possession, and always so full of energy and pressing South Korea. Able to regain possession, and it's back with their defensive line. And Suarez, again, with that body language off the ball at the moment, needs to really kind of work himself into this game a little bit more. He's got so much experience, Luis Suarez. We talk about it. His infamous, really, we can say, checkered history in World Cups in a Uruguay shirt. But this is a 4th World Cup for the former Liverpool man, and he perhaps needs to work himself into this game a little bit more as South Korea attempt to get the cross in from the right, and that will be a corner for South Korea, their first of this second half. Clinton.
Yeah, I think he can get involved, but the problem with Suarez is now he's obviously at an age and getting older, don't really want to run him behind as much as he used to do. I think he needs to play with someone. I think he'd rather have someone up there with him, but he's isolated at the moment, and that's why he's getting frustrated.
Yeah, the link-up play with Nunes isn't quite working at the moment. This is going to be a free corner for South Korea, which they're going to take from the right as they attack from right to left in the second half. Their captain, Son Heung-min, is the man over the ball. He's going to take it. Referee blows his whistle. Uruguay defence just getting themselves settled in the area. Son with his left arm in the air. That black mask on. Corner comes in. Header goes up. Cleared by the keeper. Right-armed punch there, really. Didn't look entirely comfortable with that one as he got it off his line, and South Korea still with possession and now lose out. Good work by Bentancur to really calm things down. Lovely work by Bentancur. Twist a 360-degree turn there to get it past a South Korea player, and now the referee has paused the game for infringement.
And they're also going to check Maz, because he thinks he's fouled. Look, Kim Ji-sun by Bentancur, he thinks there's an arm, so he wants the referee to go and look at VAR. But for me, I don't think there's a lot in that, to be fair. I'd be surprised if VAR give a penalty for that.
It looks like, he's in a physical battle for the ball. The goalkeeper's in a physical battle for the ball, as is Bentancur. All of them are involved, and it seems that nobody really seems to come off the worse for it. Everybody's just doing their best to try and get the ball, basically.
And I'm right, because VAR have checked it and they said no penalty. If I got that wrong, I wouldn't have been happy with that. But it wasn't enough. There's hardly any contact there. I think Kim Jun-sun was looking for it. Bentancur just leaned on him. right decision from VAR.
Word on Bentacle's 360-degree turn there as well. I mean,
highlight of the game, wasn't it, Maz?
Everyone has seen that move that Anthony did in a Manchester United shirt, but this one he's surrounded by different people there, no time at all, and made it look super easy. Excellent work from the Tottenham man, Bentancur there.
Yeah, great bit of skill, you're right.
And he's been really impressive for Uruguay in this game. As it is, though, it does remain goalless. 8.5 minutes played in the second half on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and Núñez has gone down there in a bit of a thump with Jung, who has raised his arm up as an apology for giving away that foul. A bit of a painful one, that looks like, for Darwin Núñez there.
I don't like players to get booked, but for me, man, watching the competition so far, players have been booked for less than that, and for me it was a yellow card. He was well late. Núñez played him and he kind of just comes in on the side of him, so he should have got booked there.
Well, it's going to be a free kick for Uruguay. Valverde's going to take it in an interesting area, a couple of yards inside the South Korea half. The floating free kick goes in, still not cleared. Bentancur trying to get the shot away at the edge of the 18-yard box, blocked, and now it goes forward again. Suarez trying to run onto this, keeps it in play deep in South Korean territory on the right-hand side, but then South Korea gather and the flag goes off because Suarez was in an offside position. This is a great stat for you, Clinton, from our producer Ellen. Only 3 Uruguayan outfield players failed to have a touch in the opposition box in the first half against South Korea. Darwin Núñez was one of them.
Not inside, yeah, because he missed that chance in the box, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well done, Ellen.
Well done, Ellen. We like that a lot.
It's on my left-hand side.
But as you say, there was that chance for him that he perhaps should have run onto, although maybe it was more Oliveira's fault than his, as the overhead kick comes in there from Suarez on the by the right-hand post, but South Korea able to clear it again, and Plestri tries to keep this ball in play. It will go out for a South Korea goal kick. 0-0, 55 minutes played. Yeah, as we say, when you think about that chance for Darwin Núñez was really try and run it onto ball from Oliveira, who kind of didn't get that right either, and things not always quite clicking for Uruguay. There's promise from both these sides, but they're not quite showing that final bit of quality that they need to make the difference to get the edge.
No, they're not. And Darwin Núñez, you can tell if he's not had that much touches, he's playing out too wide on the left-hand side. Go on, Maz.
Oh, well, Son Heung-min's gone down in a thump here, and his boots come off. He's clutching his right ankle. I'm not sure who it was who that coming together was with, but it was enough to get his boot come off. It was Caceres.
Oh, he treads on the back
of his boot. It comes off, and Son is lying on the ground in real distress here, clutching his right ankle. So this is real concern here for South Korea's playmaker. Paolo Bento, South Korea head coach, on the sidelines, looking concerned, having a chat with his technical staff, and Son Heung-min looking in real pain here, Clinton.
Yeah, he catches him just on the back of him. I don't know if it's obviously accidental. Only carers can tell you that. But really and truly, there is a trod down right on the back of the boot, on the back of the Achilles, and it even takes, where he treads it down, the boot comes off. So yeah, I don't, and for me, it's another yellow card, because you've caught him right on the back of his Achilles.
And his sock as well has taken ripped as well. Like, that's how much the force of the studs coming in.
He
has been booked, Caceres, for that challenge. And as we say, it was a really forceful one. Not only the boot coming off of Son, but also a big hole in the back of his South Korea sock there. So safe to say that South Korea's captain has been in
and
the
a little
wars
tear on the boots, his brand new boots, what he probably got given for the World Cup. Yep.
Don't worry, I'm sure he's got spare pairs.
Oh yeah, I think he's got another 20 pairs in the dressing room, as these footballers do have nowadays.
Back on his feet, Son Heung-min, good to see. South Korea take the free kick, try and spray it out wide to the right, but picked up again by Uruguay, and Uruguay trying to feed in Darwin Núñez on the halfway line. South Korea send it back. It will be a throw-in on the far side for Uruguay, level with their 18-yard box. 12.5 minutes played in this second half here on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. This final first group match, I should say, in Group H between Uruguay and South Korea. Still goalless. Man just on the ball at the moment. He's just lost possession. Luis Suarez cutting a frustrated figure at the moment as he's trying to make something happen for Uruguay going forward.
I don't know if they've tweaked it a bit, Maz, but you can look now. Look, Núñez looks like he's playing more through the middle with Luis Suarez, so maybe they might have changed it a bit and just put them two together.
Yeah, interesting, because obviously, in the first half, Núñez was playing a little bit more in a position out wide, wasn't he? And that didn't seem to have the impact, clearly, that Diego Alonso would have wanted. So interesting, really, to think that, really, in terms of when you compare the experience of these two managers on this touchline today, Bento, as we say, been in charge of South Korea for over 4 years now. Diego Alonso only taking over from the really experienced Oscar Tabarez at the beginning of the year. Only 9 matches he's been in charge of this Uruguay side, and arguments really that he still doesn't really know his best formation, his best team, and you can kind of get a sense of that in this match.
Yeah, you can. I know Cavani's not 100% fit, but would he have played up front with Suarez and Núñez a bit wider? So you can tell he's trying to, are they a 4-3-3 or are they a 4-4-2? And he's trying to pick out his best formation, but you can't do that in the World Cup. You have to stick on a formation and then have a plan A, a plan B, and even a plan C. But at the moment, they don't know their best formation, it looks like. But I think Núñez playing through the middle, he's more happier than playing out wide.
And that lack of kind of really knowing what their best attack is at the moment pretty much summed up in a move that Uruguay just tried there. Long ball over the top, trying to get Oliveira to run onto it, but the South Korean keeper very easily able to gather, and now South Korea are on their way. One of their players is down in a heap, but they continue to play because they do have possession. Cross from the right into the box, headed clear just by Caceres, and now Valverde picks up possession and sends it forward out of danger. It's with Núñez in the South Korea half, and it will go out for a throw-in on this near side. Of some good clearance work there by Kim.
Yeah, very good. But we are right there. It definitely is. And there, as I just spoke about him, he's coming on.
They were listening to you, Clinton. They were listening to you.
And it might be probably a like for like with Suarez, because they are both aging. But one thing you know with Cavani, you give him half a chance, he'll find the back of the net, because he's a lethal finisher. And
again, interesting to know what we'll get with Edison Cavani. A reminder, obviously, he's spent a lot of time at Valencia this season since he joined after his contract expired at Manchester United. He hasn't really played an awful lot. I think he's completed 90 minutes. So like a lot of the other players in this Uruguay side, but injury concerns, we've mentioned Godin, their captain as well, the lack of game times he's had. But even with that, Cavani is a player who you'd expect just to hit the ground running and find that touch, certainly. It looks like he's going to be the change that's going to happen now.
Yeah, not having the minutes doesn't help, but he's got experience. He'll come on for half an hour now, and you give him a chance. It don't matter what he does outside the box, it matters what he does in the box. And one thing with Cavani, he wants to score goals.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds, still goalless between Uruguay and South Korea, as South Korea go on the attack again in Uruguay's half, but they do like to play quite nice football, and sometimes that means there's a misplaced pass, as we just heard there. You might have heard the groans from the South Korea fans in the stands, and Uruguay regain possession and send it back to their keeper. Reminder, if you are out and about, you can listen to us on BBC Sounds as well as on BBC Radio 5 Live. If you've got to go out and about, 4 games a day, there's plenty for people to be getting on with, and you can rewind us as well so you don't miss a minute wherever you go if you download that BBC Sounds app. Cross from the right from South Korea into the Uruguay box is blocked. It will be a throw-in midway through Uruguay's half, and I guess we're just wondering now when Diego Alonso will opt to make this change and bring on really experienced striker Edison Cavani. South Korea, player goes down at the edge of the 18-yard box. Referee's not interested if that foul came in. He thinks it was just outside the box, but he allows play to continue. Now it's Son, tries the looping ball over the top to try and pick out South Korea in the box, but it's cleared again, and South Korea forced out wide, and Uruguay keeping their shape as well in defence at the moment, as Son again now with the ball in the box just mishits it, and Valverde gathers, and now Godin sends it forward, and that is with Núñez now on the left. South Korea player falls over, is out muscled by that. Darwin Núñez on the edge of the box, a couple of yards outside the byline, sends it cross, goalkeeper able to gather. Darwin Núñez perhaps there should have done a lot better with that opportunity, Clinton.
Yeah, it's a good ball from Godin, and Kim Min-jae, he slips over, and Núñez is in there, and Suarez has made a great run. He's gone to he checked to the near post, pulled out to the far post. Núñez should really use his left foot and pick him out. He doesn't, takes an extra touch, and in the end it's good goalkeeping, but that's a great opportunity for Uruguay there.
Yeah, Darwin Núñez really showing all the physical attributes of his game there to get past Kim, but really going for the wrong option there, trying to go to the near post rather than opt for Suarez, who we can see in the replays here was unmarked on the edge of the 6-yard box.
Yeah, and he's frustrated, Suarez. He was really frustrated, threw his hands up in the air. And I told you it would probably be a like for like because the age that they're at, Suarez coming off and Cavani on.
So that is the last piece of play really that Luis Suarez was involved in. He's looking a bit frustrated, the former Liverpool man, as he is substituted for Edison Cavani, another player coming on now here for Uruguay, as one of the South Korean defenders, Kim Min-jae, their really, really important defender, Napoli starter, is just down requiring some treatment. But Edison Cavani, another player coming on for this Uruguay side, playing in a 4th World Cup. I mean, what experience some of these players have got, Clinton.
They've got some great experience, and it does help. It does help if you have very good youngsters as well, which they do have. But yeah, it's good experience to have Cavani. And as I said, the one thing he's probably different to Suarez, he gets in there all the time. He don't care about doing his work outside the box. He just wants to score goals. And if Uruguay can supply him, he is clinical.
Nearly 20 minutes gone in the second half, still goalless in this Group H opener between Uruguay and South Korea. And Kim Min-jae is up on his feet. He has required some treatment though, so he's just going to go off into the sidelines, but happy to see that he is back on his feet. Paolo Bente is just taking an opportunity, this break in play, to have a quick chat with some of his South Korea players, because certainly in the last couple of minutes it feels like Uruguay have kind of forced themselves on this game a little bit more.
Yeah, South Korea are probably still dominating, but you are right, they are having opportunities, and they can't lose Kim Min-jae because he's been outstanding today and also at club level for Napoli. Brilliant replacement for Koulibaly, and he's done well, and they're going to need him because now I think Uruguay will be pushing to get this opening goal.
Yeah, and he is going to hopefully be able to continue. 65 minutes gone in this game, still goalless in this Group H opener, as Cavani now on the field is going to start hassling and pressing this South Korea defence, but they try the long ball over the top there for their attack, South Korea, and it's picked up by Bentancur in the Uruguay half, but good pressing again from South Korea, regains possession, and Jun in that centre circle role that he's really made his own in this game. Fantastic distributor of the ball, their holding midfielder Jung regains possession for South Korea, and they will build again from the back.
See, Maz, here it's all too easy. Go and press, go and make it difficult for South Korea. They're enabling them to pick out their passes. Too comfortable at the moment.
They're so organised, aren't they, South Korea, when they are on the ball, when they're off the ball, and just feels like both sides really allowing, as Palestri goes down there, looks all right, he's got back on his feet, that both sides are very happy for people to play the ball in their own halves when they're not in possession, and there's not an awful lot of pressing or harrying going on, and perhaps it's going to make the difference late on when energy levels start to maybe sap a little bit.
Yeah, that's where you got to look to your bench to make changes, but you're right, you're spot on. The energy levels will get tired. They will get tired, South Korea. They put a lot of effort in. Both teams have put a lot of effort in, and that's where it could be won and lost from making the right substitutions.
So the Uruguay thrown, as it will be, a couple of yards inside their half. Caceres takes it, aiming for Cavani towards the halfway line.
Good touch from the manager there. Just got headed the ball right at him. Ooh, right in the side of the face. Took it well though. I would have gone down, Maz.
He's running it off. He's pretending he's fine.
No, he messed his hair up. That's what he's more angry about. His hair's out of place now, so he has to redo it again.
At least he didn't hit his expensive watch. That would have made him more upset, certainly.
Yeah.
Godin there trying to hassle and press the South Korea attackers, and Bentancur, as he's so often done, really doing well and sweeping up possession, although there's a loose pass there from Uruguay, and Bentancur again has to sort things out really in that midfield for Uruguay, and then a misplaced pass from him up to Palestri on the right. It's just not quite clicking for Uruguay at the moment.
No, you know, you look on paper and you say all the names that they've got should be dominating possession, but it doesn't work like that. You got to credit South Korea, but they have been poor in possession. Bentancur, one of their best players, passes the ball out of play, so they need to get their act together because they could end up losing this.
22 and a half minutes played in the second half, so midway through the second half, still no goals yet in this opening match in Group H. Nobody yet able to make the breakthrough, although this is Oliveira and now Nunes on the left, just outside the 18-yard box. Cross comes in from the left, headed clear by South Korea. Now Valverde tries the long ball forward, which is slightly wayward and goes all the way out to Palistri, a couple of yards inside this near side touchline, and in the end he is dispossessed. It goes up for a throw, and Son Heung-min, who dispossessed him, convinced that it came off the Uruguayan last, but it will be a Uruguay throw-in, which is taken by Caceres. Now Bentancur. Valverde tries the ball into Ederson, just to the edge of the 18-yard box, gets the shot away, it's blocked. Only with Palistri though, back now with Valverde. Blocked further away from Uruguay, but it's regained by them, and they maintain possession in the South Korea half. Now,
that's what I said, Maz. It's good play. That's what Cavani does. He comes alive, but it's really good defending. He tries to get half a yard.
And Valverde now with the ball, sending it back to Bentancur. We just had one of our monitors go down here in our studio in Salford. The funs and games of commentating off tube with Clinton Morrison here. There's always something with you, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. I bring trouble everywhere I go. Good trouble though, good trouble.
We're enjoying it. We're enjoying
exactly.
it. About 20 minutes plus stoppage time to go in the second half. We're still waiting for a breakthrough as Palistri shows too much of the ball there to Son Heung-min, but does well to win it back. Son wants the free kick. It's not given. Bentancur and now Valverde as Uruguay build now again from the left. It's with Nunes now, edge of the 18-yard box. Kim dispossesses him. It will be a throw-in on the far side for Uruguay, but not able to get that incisive ball into the box at the moment. Now with Godin, sends it forward again. These crossfield balls are coming part of Uruguay in the second half. The cross comes into the box, overruns everybody. Now it's with Palistri on the right hand side of the area, gets the shot in, cleared there by South Korea. Now it's with Son back in his half, doing his defensive bit.
What a pass!
Lovely pass over the top, trying to pick out Hwang Yi-jo there. But plenty of Uruguayan shirts back to clear that, but the vision showed there by Son Heung-min at the edge of his own 18-yard box to get that pass all the way forward as he did, effectively to the box at the other end.
Yeah, it's a great pass, about 60, 70-yard diagonal, and Hwang Yi-jo is not quick enough. And you're thinking in a race with Godin, he would be quick enough, but Godin used all of his experience, leaned on him, and the goalkeeper came in clearance. But fantastic pass there from Son.
Valverde, though, with the ball at his feet at the moment, so confident the Real Madrid man can really see the difference that he makes to this Uruguay team. So confident on the ball, and sends it out to the left as Uruguay try to build here, and the noise really increasing now. That is from the Uruguay fans who are behind the goal that they are defending in this second half. So they're shooting towards the South Korea fans, who are quite quiet at the moment, it has to be said. Uruguay doing their bit to silence the South Korea fans, and all the noise is coming from their end at the moment as Palistri now has the ball on the right, sends the cross into the box. That was for Cavani, but it's hacked clear by South Korea, and Uruguay now really camped out in South Korea's box as the cross came in again. That is Bentancur, and it goes all the way through and to the feet of the South Korean goalkeeper Kim Seong-hun, who just makes a calm down gesture to everybody, puts his hands out, palms down, and just calm down to all of his South Korean teammates, because he can feel that this game is getting away from them in the last few minutes.
It is. Uruguay having a spell, and that's what it's been like. It was like that in the first half. South Korea started well, then Uruguay had a spell, then South Korea finished the half well, and it's like that again in the second half. But when you have these opportunities, you have to be clinical, because you'll always have spells in the game, man.
72 minutes played. Apologies, Clinton. 72 minutes played. Still 0-0. Caceres and now Bentancur on the ball. I mean, the one criticism that people make about Paulo Bento a lot, Clinton, is that there is no plan B without Son Heung-min, and that he hasn't been able to find one. And I think in the last few minutes we're starting to see maybe the arguments around that.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a great point you make, Maz. And you're looking at it now, and we've had 72 minutes. He hasn't even made a change. You're thinking, go to your bench. Can you not bring on Hwang of Wolverhampton, who we know can get a goal? Maybe he's not been in good form, but, just change the front. Bring a bit of pace to the front. As
Uruguay try the attack again, ball forward. That was for Darwin Núñez on the edge of the 18-yard box. He puts the thumb in the air because he
must have heard us.
There you go. They hear you again, Clinton.
But it's not who we wanted, but it's still somewhat. There's still two players.
We've got a couple of subs coming on here for South Korea, and a couple of changes now going to be made. So we're going to be bringing on Cho Gu-song.
Wang Yun-chu's going off.
One of the forwards, as Hwang Ijo, who missed that fantastic chance in the first half. In the box, goes off. And the other player coming on is going to be Song Jin Ho. Just waiting to see who the other player going off will be. That's Na Sang Ho. So he's taking off two kind of attacking players and bringing on two other attacking players here, really trying to freshen things up.
Yeah, and that's what I think, that's what you want to do. But as I said, he needed a change up there. I was thinking of Wang of Wolverhampton, but obviously he sees them in training. I think Wang is on. Is that Wang? No, they've made 3 substitutions, to be fair.
They have.
Cho, Son and Lee that have come on.
Yeah, so it's Hwang Ijo that's gone off and Na Ho's gone off. And the 3 changes that come on are Song Jin Ho, Cho Gu-song and Lee Kang-in, who's a very interesting player and one that a lot of South Korea fans are really hopeful for the future. Paolo Bento, though, has been reluctant to use him, and he's on the ball at the moment. They're very excited about this young South Korean talent, South Korea fans, and he's tried to feed the ball there into the box. It's now with Son at the edge of the 18-yard box, a couple of yards outside the byline, tries the cross into the 6-yard area from the left. It's blocked, and it will go out of play now. Valverde with some good defensive work there, and South Korea with a good bit of promising play there. But Son did look like there on the replay that he was offside in the build-up. So if that cross had found its target in the middle, that goal probably wouldn't have counted.
Yeah, and you were saying, was it Lee? He did look lively there with his left foot. He looked like that's what you want to see in the game. He's come on, he looked sharp, he wants to get involved and create problems. There's a good opportunity there, but you're right, man, Son would have been offside.
Lee Kang-in, he's only 21. He plays his club football for Mallorca. He was discovered as Darwin Núñez there tries to get on the end of a long ball over the top. Direct effort that from Uruguay. He was discovered, it depends where you read it. Some places say 6 years old, some places say 8 years old. But he was on a talent show, Clinton, when he was young and showing off his football tricks. And since then he's been targeted by South Korean football fans as one to watch. So he's certainly a young talent that they are excited about. But there's been a reluctance from Paolo Bento to pick him. But he's decided, I think, to gamble in this match now. And Lee Kang-in is one of the 3 substitutions that's come on in the second half for South Korea. Reminder that Uruguay have made 1 already, Edison Cavani, and it looks like Diego Alonso is going to bring on another couple of subs in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, I think he has to. Matt, because I feel like the game's just petering out and you need to, bring on players to try and win. This is your first game. I always think it's important to win your first game, but don't lose it as well.
Yeah, certainly. We've seen shocks already, haven't we, from certainly a lot of the big teams that we're expecting to start their opening games of this World Cup really, really strongly, and that hasn't been the case. So Uruguay, for all their hopes and aspirations to win this game in a group that also contains Portugal and Ghana, will also be anxious not to lose it. And Portugal against Ghana is the next game coming up for you with us on 5 Live. As South Korea go on the attack again, shot is wide of the right-hand post there from Cho Gung-sung. And he looks disappointed there, like he should have got that on target, Clinton.
Cho Gung-sung, this touch is brilliant. It's magnificent touch. He controls it, and it's a snapshot of his left foot. It's difficult. It's going to be some strike to beat the goalkeeper from there, but the subs have already made an impact on this game.
Have indeed. And let's just run you through the other games you have to come here then on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds today. Already, as we say, we've brought you Switzerland beating Cameroon 1-0. To come after us here at 4 o'clock UK time on BBC Radio 5 Live, Portugal against Ghana. Ian Dennis and Matt Upson with you for that one. That's the other opening game in this group. And then later to come, the last team in action, Brazil against Serbia at 7 UK time. Ali Breesbaugh and Chris Sutton, the roommates, the flatmates, your team for that one.
Can you imagine them two
bickering
living together? Yeah, bickering. It's your turn to make the tea. No, it's your turn.
Here are the 2 more changes that Uruguay are going to make now. They're bringing on Matias Vina and Nicolas de la Cruz, and Oliveira Vecino, the 2 players to come off. So 3 changes now for Uruguay in this second half, 3 for South Korea, with 12 minutes or so plus stoppage time to go in this game. Still yet to have a breakthrough, still goalless. We've had a couple of goalless games already in this World Cup. Is this going to be another one, as Godin now is on the ball for Uruguay? Casera sends it all the way back to his keeper. Interesting to see now if these couple of changes. De La Cruz has been another good player for Uruguay, one of these younger players that's really made the difference, certainly in recent games, for Diego Alonso. So he is opting to mix things up now in this second half.
Yeah, I think he knows how important it is. As I said, you always want to get off to a good start. I know not to lose it, but you were the favourites to coming into this game, and I know favourites not always supposed to win, but you'll be disappointed because they haven't really created any clear-cut chances in the game, apart from Godin's header, which was a half a chance, but he done ever so well to direct it onto the post, but was unlucky not to score.
Heading into the final 10 minutes here on BBC Radio 5 Live. South Korea regain possession. Now it's with Jun again in the centre of the park. Son Heung-min calling for it on the left, trying to make the run. But Uruguay pressing and harrying a little bit more now. Cavani there, hassling Jung on the ball. Try the loop ball over the top there. Godin's following it, tracking it, and wins the free kick. Good work there from the Uruguay captain.
It's experience, to be fair, because he's not at all ever is he playing the ball. He's just looking at the man and getting his body into him, and then as soon as he feels contact, he goes down. Good defending and good experience defending from Godin.
Are you surprised that he looks like he's probably going to be playing the 90 minutes? I mean, when we consider how little football he's had coming up to this World Cup, but he seems not to have shown that at all.
No, he hasn't. So that must go credit to him and the medical staff, and in particular himself, for getting himself into great shape. And I think it's always difficult when you change centre halves during games as well, Maz. And his experience alone, even if he's running on empty, he's a good talker, he's an organiser. And I think that will play a big part in these last 12 or 15 minutes that we have, plus stoppages.
Yeah, we'll see how much stoppage time we get. We've had the least amount of time so far of any of the games I think I can think of.
1 minute,
this World
I can't
Cup.
believe
1
it.
minute.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But I think we'll have a fair few more since we've had 6 subs in this second half. One of them, Cavani, on the ball now, feeding it through onto the left. That is Nunes. Shot comes in wide of the right-hand post. That was a really good opportunity there for Uruguay and Darwin Nunes.
Yeah, it was brilliant play from Cavani. He played it to Nunes. Nunes just shifts it onto his right foot. He just can't get enough bend on it. And even there, Cavani was nearly on the end of it, even though it was a shot, and nearly flicked it in. But yeah, good play from Cavani and Nunes. Really unlucky.
Yeah, it was the shot came in from Nunes that was wide of the right-hand post. You could see the towering figure of Cavani trying to get on the end of it. Such a poacher, such a brilliant goal scorer down the years, the former PSG and Manchester United man. And he's ripped his headband off in frustration because he knows how close he could have been there to helping Uruguay get the opener. And we'll just have another pause in play here. Another South Korea player has gone down injured, and I guess as well, tiredness is certainly for some of these South Korea players going to play a part. I mean, only 6 of this 26-man squad for South Korea, Clinton, play their football, their club football in the 5 major European leagues. It's a big ask to ask a lot of these players to play at this intensity, at this tempo for 90 minutes.
No, yeah, you're spot on. So that's why it's good that he's made a triple substitution, because you are going to get tired legs, especially the likes of Jung. He's been in midfield and he's worked ever so hard. That's been the engine room. He's been up and down. So they put in a great shift. And this is where games were won and lost, man, in the last 10 minutes or so, because it's tired legs and also tired minds. That's where you can switch off.
Yeah, 8 minutes to go. Still nothing to separate Uruguay and South Korea in this opening match of Group H. Another good stat from producer Ellen Clinton. Each of South Korea's last 3 World Cup goals have been in the 90th minute. You called it late drama. We could have it.
She's on fire, isn't she, Ellen? She's on fire.
She is. Goal kick for South Korea is taken high and long, and Cavani trying to pick that up there and getting involved in a bit of physical battle. I think he got studs up tackle there from a South Korean player trying to win that one just on his thigh. So it will be a free kick for Uruguay. Bentancur sends it back to Godin. Valverde again feeds it through to Bentancur, and we've had these 3 do this at big times already this game. They do like to pass it amongst themselves, but again, it's a reflection of how organised South Korea have been off the ball, that it's been very, very tough for Uruguay to find the breakthrough. Ball over top again, that was for Darwin Núñez, and now it's picked up by Valverde, and Pellistri sends it out to the right. That's where Núñez is this time, tries to get the cross in, gets it past one South Korea defender, and then tries to feed in Bentancur, and the ball is overhit and runs out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, it was good play from Núñez. He's done ever so well on the right hand side. He chops inside the defender, tries to reverse ball with his left foot, and Bentancur would be in there and he could just flash it across the box, but he overhits it. Núñez, he's frustrated with himself, but as I said, they're starting slowly but surely becoming the better team now, Uruguay.
7.5 minutes to go here on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Remember, we've got coverage of every aspect of the 2022 World Cup, all the issues surrounding the tournament as well, on and off the field, across the BBC. Our coverage here on 5 Live every day begins with 5 Live Breakfast from 6 o'clock in the morning, with Rick Edwards for you live out in Qatar. The ball goes out for throw-in on this near-hand side. 6 minutes plus stoppage time, less than that now to play. Caceres is going to take this throw-in just on this near side touchline, midway through the Uruguay half. Uruguay fans behind the goal they're defending in the second half. Pretty subdued a little bit now as well, as maybe both sets of fans starting to get anxious that, you know, there might be a lapse of concentration for their team in these final minutes.
Yeah, and that's where you have to switch on right to the end, not just to the 90th minute, because as we said earlier, get a lot of stoppage time, so you have to keep switched on because you don't want a mistake to lose you the game.
Son Heung-min with the ball in the centre of the Uruguay half. Now it's sent out and back. South Korea forced wide and backwards by Uruguay, and try to feed it in now again from the right. 5 minutes plus stoppage time to play. Still nothing to separate these two sides. Uruguay 0, South Korea 0 in Group H. The opening group match for both these teams is a misplaced pass from South Korea is picked up by Bentancur. Now it's with Cavani as he moves forward 18 yards out or so, but sends it all the way back to Caceres, and lack of options there demonstrated there by Cavani having to send it all the way back when he's in a promising position there for Uruguay.
Yeah, they don't have enough runners getting in beyond him when he picked it up, but I got to credit South Korea, watching them get back into their shape as quick as possible. Brilliant. That's testament to their fitness as well, that they can manage to get back into their shape in the 85th minute.
Yeah, the energy levels have been there all match for South Korea, and a loose ball there for Pellistri is picked up gratefully by South Korea, who try to send now Quay on his way, and Caceres with some good tracking back is able to send it back to his goalkeeper and Godin, and now Valverde in the centre of the Uruguay half now switches it to the left. You can see how hard the players are working, certainly on the Uruguay shirts. Dark patches now of sweat that have been building through this second half. It's obviously cooler now at this time of day in Qatar, but still really hot conditions for these players, and just demonstrating how hard they're all working. Valverde, he's been excellent for Uruguay in this match, on the ball now. Now, one of the substitutes, Nicolas de la Cruz. Now, Caceres sends it out now to the right. That's Bentancur. Opts to send it back to de la Cruz in a more central position now for Uruguay in the South Korea half. Back with Bentancur on the right. Cross comes into the box. Cavani's reaching for it, header, and then the subsequent ball is put out wide of the near hand post. Another good chance for Uruguay there, Clinton.
Yeah, it's good build-up play. It's the first time they sustained pressure in the whole game, to be fair. And good play. Bentancur chops onto his left. Cavani's ahead of the ball, so he's always coming backwards. He can't generate the pace. Goes out for a goal kick, but good play from Uruguay.
Yeah, that seems like one of the most fluid passages of play we've really had from Uruguay, perhaps all match, really, with, 2.5 minutes of the game to play, as Uruguay now make a fourth substitution. Pellistri has come off. I'm just waiting to see who has come on here for Uruguay. Guillermo Varela in the last few minutes of this match. So Uruguay making 4 substitutions now. See if they can make the difference in the final minutes, as they are given a free kick as well. Jimenez gone down clutching his face, and that will be a yellow card for
Cho.
Cho.
Yeah, it's a hard one. As a centre forward, you always want to put your arms up, but he's looking for Jimenez. He is looking for him, and he catches him in the throat. So I think the referee, it's the right decision. Can't raise your hands in the air like that.
So a booking for Cho Gi-sung. Only been on the pitch a few minutes as one of South Korea's substitutes in this second half. Benton Kur allowed plenty of time in the ball, trying to set Uruguay on their way, but Uruguay dispossessed, and now it's Cho on the ball in the Uruguay half. He goes down under a challenge. The referee isn't interested in giving away the free kick. Varela, now one of the subs, is on the ball for South Korea, opts to switch play to the left, and the boos you can hear there are from the South Korea fans behind the goal they're defending in the second half and on the far side. They certainly think that Cho was brought down there, but the referees allow play to continue, and Valverde's now on the ball and tries the shot on, and it's a good save from the South Korea keeper there. That was a shot from somebody who is in real confidence at the moment in his club game. A good shot and a good save there from that strike from Valverde.
Yeah, I thought it was a save, Maz, but I think seeing the replay, I think it hits the post. I don't think the goalkeeper's getting it. I think it just hits the outside of the post, and it goes to safety. But great shot from Valverde, but I think he's got a touch of cramp. I saw him a couple of minutes ago stretching, and as soon as he had that shot, he was down stretching his hamstring. So the heat out there, it does play a big part, because Valverde's covered probably every inch of grass this evening so far.
Yeah, in the end, looking at the replays, Clinton's absolutely right. It does come off sort of almost the left-hand corner of the uprights. The keeper was going that direction and, well, almost made the move across, which is why I thought it was initially a save, as Son Heung-min now goes for a strike, and it's just wide of the right-hand post, again from a similar distance out as Valverde's strike, and that one from Son, not quite as close, but pretty close. Just the wrong-hand side of the right-hand post, Clinton.
Yeah, Rocket, the goalkeeper, it's a terrible kick out. The ball comes to Son, shifts it to his left foot, and he drills it, and it just goes wide of the post. You've seen him many times score for Tottenham from that range, but I think Rocket would have had it covered.
Yeah, it always looked like it
was bending wide,
like
didn't it?
Swazzing wide, didn't it, really? The keeper would have got there probably, but chances at either end now in the last couple of minutes of this match is where...
Have a guess, Maz, how many added on time we've got?
Go on, Clinton, tell me.
7.
I knew the one was a one-off. We thought with that many subs that we would get 7, wouldn't
we?
We have had 7 subs in this second half. 4 for Uruguay, 3 for South Korea, so that's probably reflected in the 7 minutes. We had a couple of players down for treatment as well, as De La Cruz tries to feed in Cavani there. Now Nunes, De La Cruz and Cavani making the run to the edge of the area. Send it out wide. Now it's with De La Cruz, and South Korea able to clear it again for the time being. Paulo Bento is living every moment, every kick of this game, isn't he, for the South Korea team in these what now 6 minutes of stoppage time we've got to play at the end of this match. As De La Cruz again on the ball, sends it back to Cavani in the D. South Korea clear though. Now they try and set up on the counter. Benton Kur and plenty of players running back to try and regain possession, and Valverde with a brilliant challenge as South Korea look to be on the counter on the far side. He gets the ball out of the play and he celebrates that like a goal, Clinton.
He does, Valverde. To be fair, he was travelling at some speed, and Valverde got back in and made a brilliant tackle. He's been like that all afternoon, covering the ground, but he celebrates like a goal. That's how passionate and pumped up they are for this game and for the World Cup.
Valverde has been absolutely brilliant for Uruguay this afternoon, as Clinton rightly says, and his chance a few minutes ago hitting the outside of the post, probably the closest that either side have got to a winner in the latter stage of this match. And the noise and cheers and sounds and songs you can hear now from those Uruguay fans, they sense their team of the two now could be the side that might find the winner now, as we're into the 3rd minute of stoppage time of 7 at the end of this Group H match. Uruguay on top, still goalless though between them and South Korea, but Valverde's got the South American fans pumped up for these final few minutes. He's been absolutely brilliant, hasn't he?
No, he has. He leads by example. We talked about him before the game, how much of a big player he is, and you've seen it today. Even if they get a draw, I still think he's been good in that midfield.
It is South Korea though now on the counter. Cho trying to get the ball into the box at a tight angle. It's cleared again, though, as Son Heung-min was trying to make the run to get on the end of it. Only so far, though, as South Korea players again. They're all there in Uruguay's half. Even Cavani's back defending now for Uruguay in this injury time, as that was a wasted opportunity there by Hwang In-bum.
Hwang In-bum. It was he just has to give it to Kim Jun-si. He's on the outside, and it's a poor. He's trying to score from about 25 yards. He's got about 6 bodies in front of him, so he just needs to keep moving the ball and then manipulate the space. But it's been a good game. Even though it's 0-0, it's been a good game. It's been end-to-end, especially in his second half.
4th minute stoppage time. Diego Godin, and we've talked about the lack of football he's played. He is dead on his feet. He is out there. He is blowing away. He is puffing, so exhausted. He's given absolutely everything for this Uruguay team today, on the ball at the moment. Again, he's been brilliant, that defensive mainstay at the back for Uruguay. They've needed him, but he's just demonstrating how hard everybody is working as we tick the final seconds of this match down. We're into the 95th minute now, and play still continues, and a South Korea player has gone down clutching his head at the edge of the area, so we'll just have a bit of a pause here.
You know where they probably lacked a bit is probably in that final third. The quality, they have a final finish, final cross into the box. That's where, and decision making. That's where the game's lack. But the build-up play, some of the build-up play has been really good, in particular from South Korea. But it's just that final cross or final pass, decision making, that where the game's lack quality.
Do you think that's reflected on the fact that, you know, both managers really, we talked about Paulo Bento not really having a plan B, when Son isn't creating everything, and Diego Alonso still perhaps doesn't know his best formation, his best 11. He hasn't had that time to work with the players yet.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think Suarez can play up front by himself. I think he needs a partner now at this age, so it was a struggle for him. But Cavani's looked much more lively, but I agree with you on that.
Barella, De La Cruz on his way. There's still chance for a late winner here for Uruguay. An attempted cross in from the left will go out for a corner, and Uruguay will have a corner now in the 96th minute of this match. This could be a big moment, a big set piece for them.
They're a threat man as well from set pieces. You can see it's written in the stars for him, isn't it?
They've got the big men up. Yeah. They've got Cavani on the pitch now. That man we've just been talking about, Godin, who, remember, hit the woodwork in the first half as well. He is now up as well in the final few minutes of this match. De La Cruz is going to take this corner from the left. They've got Valverde loitering just outside the D as well. That's one to keep an eye on. Varela as well. De La Cruz with the corner from the left rather, and that is a very wasteful corner straight into the grateful hands of Kim Si-gu, the South Korean keeper.
Yeah, it's poor from De La Cruz, but Kim Si-gu done ever so well to come and claim. That is when you need your goalkeeper, when it's that late on in the game, your goalie to come and help you out when you're tired, and he did that, but expect better quality from De La Cruz there.
And of course, tomorrow is a huge game for you on 5 Live as we're into the last 60 seconds.
What is tomorrow,
of this game?
Who's playing tomorrow? Is it a big game? Oh, Wales you're talking about.
Yes, well, England and Wales, both in action, Clinton.
I know.
Build up from 9 a.m. with Mark Chapman. Of course, 5 Live Breakfast is on air from you from 6. And some news ahead of Wales's game tomorrow. Rob Page saying that Joe Allen is fit and available for the Iran match tomorrow for Wales. That is a big boost from them, isn't it? Ahead of their second game in their group.
And that's great news, to be fair. I don't know how fit he'll be to start the game, but if he could bring him on, it is good news for them, because they do miss him in that midfield.
If he can challenge anything like Godin's challenged for Uruguay this afternoon, Wales will be happy, as Nunes now is on the attack, just a couple of yards, and the referee has blown for a foul there, and Uruguay thought they were in the final seconds of this match. Nunes looked like he was pretty much one-on-one, but the foul there from Varela is adjudged taking place, and
doesn't touch him. He does not touch him at all.
Diego Alonso is not happy at all about that decision.
He don't touch him. It's good, clever play from Kim Jun-soo. He just goes down and pretends there's contact, but he doesn't touch him. You can see, and he's been put for it now, Varela, I think, for protesting to the referee. He's not happy.
Yeah, Cavani.
Oh, no, it's not. You know he's been booked? Go on, Maz. I leave it to you.
Paulo Bento, the South Korean head coach, who's been, as we say, living every moment of the last few minutes of this match with his South Korean players, is the latest person in the referee's book. And he sat down. We were in a replay of the incident that Clinton was talking about. and that is why we didn't know what exactly he was booked for. But that's the last action of this game, and 0-0 it has finished, Clinton Morrison, after 7 minutes of stoppage time. Uruguay 0, South Korea 0. And as we say, chances for both sides, excellent chances for both sides, particularly in the second half. Really, the only one was for